नमस्ते सबको.
Namaste.
मेरा नाम Jessica है, and welcome to the Indivisible India podcast. Today I have with me Shubhda Ranjan, my good friend, and she is the head madam at Infant Jesus School in in Patna City, Bihar. And she is become a wonderful friend of mine. And a lot of people ask about the Indian education system. People ask a lot of questions about how this system developed. What are the differences between Indian education, Western education, and different systems there? So we're going to get into that today. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about Shubhda. So Shubhda has done her master's in economics at GIPE.
Right.
And you're from Nasik, Maharashtra.
Yeah.
और आप यहाँ पे आए बिहार में कितने साल पहले?
I came here 15 years back.
15 years. So now she's been in Bihar for 15 years, and she's just a delight. I've gotten to know her over the last couple of years, and just really thankful for her perspective. And I wanted to get her on the podcast. हम लोग बहुत महीनों से try कर रहे हैं, like schedules को मिलाने का, लेकिन नहीं हो पाया. So
I'm so sorry about it. Then.
नहीं भाई, हम अभी lockdown भी हो गया था, and so now finally we're coming to you with this new content, and we're going to be able to answer all your questions about Indian education. I mean, around the world, Indians are succeeding in so many ways.
True.
And there's something behind that. There's some special force behind that. And I think that we need to uncover and dig into that. So I wanted to invite you to share a little bit today about that. And so we're going to get into that.
Sure, Jessica.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here.
Sure.
Hello, everyone. Namaste. And as Jessica has asked about Indian education system, I would like to make one point clear over here. Earlier, Indian education system was way different than what is today's Indian education system is.
Sure.
Earlier we had Tapovan Paddhat, that is called as Gurukul, which is a very popular word, and most of the people are aware of what exactly Gurukul system is. So earlier Indian education system was in the form of Gurukul system. But now in modern era, Indian education system has changed a lot, and Indian education system has become much more knowledge oriented, information oriented, but something related to job point of view, earning point of view. So that is what Indian education system has become recently.
Like that Guru Shishya relationship used to be the main type of
that bonding that is somewhere missing. I'm sorry to say that, but earlier it was really focused, or earlier students used to go to particular place and they used to stay there for 12 years, and then they used to get involved into their gurus and gurus families, each and everything. It's like if they have celebration at their place, students would be enjoying that celebration. If they have any sad event occurring at their place, student would be a part of that. So they were totally involved in Guru Shishya Paddhati system. They were totally involved into education as well as all other activities which used to take place over there. So that created a very great bond between Shishya and Guru.
So that's a bit of the history behind the Indian system. And now even we're finding this system has been gaining popularity in many different arenas, with now in the West, even people are learning yoga with their Guruji, or with their, even many Westerners are following gurus, but this is a system that goes way back, and not only in spiritual practices, but in education as well. So that's great. So, one of the things that I wanted to also say about you is that you're not only an educator for K through 12, but you're also a professor. So one interesting thing about Shubha that you won't know is that she also has international exposure. She went to Germany and she studied German language. She's a professor at Patna Women's College, but you're also a product of the Indian education system. So you earned your master's in economics at in Pune at GIPE. You're from Nasik,
Yes.
Maharashtra, and so she's got a good exposure of the different systems. And I wanted to share just about ask you, because not only are you a product of the Indian education system, पर like आप भी यहाँ पढ़ाती हैं और अलग-अलग अलग-अलग backgrounds से जो लोग
Students जो
आते
आते
हैं,
हैं, yeah.
like you're not only educating the elite
Correct.
students.
What you're saying is correct.
Your students are from many different backgrounds,
True.
economic backgrounds.
Hmm.
So there's a gap, and I appreciate what you guys are doing is trying to fill that gap. You're bringing a good education to people that might not have access.
See,
Yeah.
talking about bridging up the economical gap, we really try a lot. We give concessions at times if at all students or parents they really need that. Apart from that, there are certain scholarships. Through scholarships, those people who cannot afford this education system, then they can apply for those kind of scholarship. And apart from that, if you are really putting hard work and if you really have talent, then no one can stop you. There are certain students who are not from a strong economical background, but still they manage to come forward and still they manage to really flourish in their career. So in that case, there are certain um, social groups also who come forward to help such kind of students. And then like being a part of management, or we as like running a school, we also make it a point that we form a committee in which we like take interview of such kind of parents and then see what exactly the reality is and try to help them out.
So in that way, you're really trying to create equality
Yeah, right. You
in
can
the
say
system.
that. Yeah.
Which many people ask about that, of like in the Indian education system we see in one side there's people that cannot read and write that are coming out, and then there's people who literally go on to be Satya Nadella and these people that have come through the education system and have achieved elite status, who are becoming world leaders, and yet so I feel that it's really important how you're addressing that issue of like equality.
Yes, I do agree with you, but specifically talking about India and talking
Sure.
about Indian education system, I would like to mention one thing over here. In India, you have everything for everyone. Okay. While saying this, I would like to elaborate on this point. Even if a person is having less money,
Yeah.
but then still you will have certain schools where that person can go, or that family can manage to send the children and get the education done for them. It's like that. And then if you are like if you belong to middle class or upper middle class families, then certainly you have certain schools in India where you can send your children and then get those kind of facilities. See, it depends upon like how much your pocket allows. But even if your pocket is not allowing, there are certain kind of provisions through which we manage to go ahead with this education system. Like children should not be deprived of education.
Yes.
More or less, we try to make it a point that they should get educated.
Yes.
Literacy is very important,
Yes.
and we all understand this very well over here.
Yes, that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
And we like basic education, we focus on like primary or pre-primary classes, primary, then secondary, higher secondary classes. This is what Indian education system is divided into. Okay. So basic education system in India, we make it a point that children who are studying till class 10th or class 12th, that should be perfectly done. If your base is strong, then as per students' ability, as per their talent, they can grow further. So we
Yes.
focus on proper education system at this level.
So Shubhla, can you tell me a little bit about how does the system here work as far as what are the requirements that students have to meet? People talk about, it's like study, 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 and then exam and board exam, and fit you're scot-free. But like, how does it work? What are the basic like building blocks of Indian education?
Okay, while focusing upon basic blocks of Indian education system, then as I told you earlier that we have pre-primary, primary, secondary, higher secondary levels over here. So once a child is of 3 years old, we send our children to the school, 2.5 and above. So we like from there in child's life, school comes into the picture. All right. So once they go to pre-primary, then they do their Montessori over there. That is nursery. At places, it is called as nursery. And after that, they jump into class 1. So at that time, their age has to be 6 years old. Okay. So once they jump into this primary classes group, that is 1 to class 4, and then over there, they put pressure. I am going to use this pressure word, which is actually right. We teachers or maybe we school, because see, that's not their age to take hold of pen or pencil and then put it in their hand for continuously 2 or 3 hours and keep on writing. It is difficult, but what to do? That is how the system works over here. Like everybody expects that, each and every parent expect over here, once my child is 3 years old, 4 years old, oh, he must know to write down A, B, C, D, and then all spellings. Then, like in Hindi, we have certain script which is very difficult to write. But then this is what is happening in India, and I'm not saying it is totally wrong, but then yes, to make them into habituated, like they should be habituated of sitting at one place for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, and they should concentrate doing all these kind of things. Their concentration level increases. If you give particular task to them and ask them to complete the task in half an hour or 1 hour, then they get used to concentrate on that and develop those kind of skills. So it is all about developing certain skills. Methodology may be little wrong, maybe harassing. I'm not saying wrong, but maybe harassing. Yeah, it is little bit harassing for little wonders, because for them playing outside is more important rather than staying in one room. We have this classroom system. Earlier Indian ancient education system, if you have seen, then in that Tapovan Paddhati, it was more related to nature. It was more close to nature. Now it is not that way. We have classrooms setup, proper setup, and then we have all technology coming into classrooms, that is IT, information technology. We take use of computers, laptops, everything. So modernization has actually got into education system, and students are much more used to these kind of modernization or modern equipments.
Yes.
In education system. Earlier it was only one to one, like guru shishya, but now that thing is not there. Now students are more relied upon Google rather than
Guru.
rather than guru. That is the situation. Yeah.
That's very funny, yeah. But it's true. I think that, and sometimes people will say, oh, the more technology you have, itna advanced school hota hai. And it's like, that's not true. The mind of the teacher, the quality of education that you're giving is more important than how much technology you have. And
I
it's just
agree.
flashy.
That's why earlier more focus was on value based education.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like value based education. What child is learning out of it? Whether that child's mental development is taking place whether he is learning which is related to day-to-day experience or day-to-day
yeah.
life. It's not like that. And what happens is, when we are giving exposure to children at all levels, like we are teaching them mathematics, science, history, geography, all the subjects, so they are exposed to all the subjects at childhood, like at that very low age only.
Yeah.
So in that case, what happens is, children cannot figure it out what exactly they are interested into.
Yes.
So what I think is, yeah, system is like that. We have several subjects. We have to teach them several subjects, but there is not a. I mean, it's not a necessity that each and every child should excel in all the subjects. That we parents have to understand.
And one thing that is like notorious about the Indian education system that is that classically, or at least in the recent history, there's been a lot of memorization.
Right.
So how do you combat that, or do you combat that as an educator or as someone that's working with different curriculums?
See, when you make someone to mug it up kind of thing, then it becomes very monotonous, right? It becomes very monotonous. There are certain things which you need to mug it up. I accept formulas are there, or certain kind of rules and regulations. You have to mug it up. But then application part needs to be focused more. That is what I believe.
Yeah.
Like, if you are learning something, how practically you can make use of it.
Yes.
Whatever you have learned, your knowledge should be more practical oriented rather than theoretically based. That is what I believe in, and education system should be designed in such a way that it gives practical exposure to children rather than all this theoretical exposure.
So how do you do that in your school? How do you bring that out? Because it's more challenging.
Yes, so we give them assignments. We give them various assignments. We tell our children, like, whenever they get time, see, if syllabus is too much for them, then whatever is there in that syllabus, certain part, instead of mugging it up or instead of memorizing it, what they can do, application. Like, they can work on practical aspect of that particular part. It may be in history, like certain visits we take them for small picnics, so that historical places we take them, and then we tell them the like, we give information about those historical parts, and then they also dig information on their own. So that gives certain kind of practical implementation, and students enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
So that is how we
makes
do
sense.
it.
Connecting the two sides.
Yeah, we do it in the school. And most of the schools in India, they do that way. They focus on practical aspect as well. Like, they give certain assignments to students, and then on the job training is there.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. And internship is there, 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, they can go on this learning kind of experience. So that is there.
So another question that a lot of people ask is, why is it that Indian people in general are like, doctor bano, engineer bano, like, there's these two options in the educational system, or in the minds of the parents.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. If you're successful, you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be an engineer.
Right. And then IS officer, bureaucrats, UPSC, MPSC,
sure.
These things
There's
are
a
also
few
there,
choices. And these, of course, are high-earning jobs. But how can we get beyond this mentality in India? How can we grow in other ways besides just like going after money and prestige? And like, how do you see this is possibly changing?
Yes. It's a very tricky question. The reason I'm using tricky word, even though the answer is simple, but implementation of that answer makes it very tricky. It is all about the perspective. It is all about what people are thinking about the life in general. Normally, we expect a lot from our children. Whatever we have not been successful into, we generally impose those things on our children.
Oh, truth
This is,
bomb.
yeah. I mean, this is a kind of typical psychology of all parents. I may be wrong, but then most of the
Some-
parents think
A lot
in
of parents,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I see it a lot here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say
So in that case, like once the child enters the school, that day parents decide he has to be engineer, he has to be a doctor, or she must be a doctor to earn lot of money and to have a very successful life. If a person wants to get married or have connection with rich people, then that person needs to be an IS officer, then that person needs to clear up certain exams, civil servant he needs to become, or then he should get certain government job. I mean, these are 3 4 things only people think about that will bring happiness, success in life. So the reason this rat race goes on continuously. I mean, children don't even know for what they are running after. They're running after what? They're running after scoring marks, or becoming always in first position, or just like throwing everybody behind and then just reaching at the first. And after reaching at particular point, doing what? They don't even get certain kind of friends over there who will guide them properly or who will talk to them properly. Because of this competition, lot of certain things happen which may traumatize you. All right. So what I think, instead of only running after money, or instead of only running after such kind of education system which is job oriented, or what you can say, which will fetch you more materialistic things rather than certain value based things,
Mm.
education should teach you so many things which will make you strong from within.
Mm.
Yeah, which will create your life,
Yeah.
which will generate certain kind of principles or values in you, that which you can transform or transfer to other generation. Yeah, that you should transfer to other generation. I hope that is not something which I'm like saying out of a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
This is something basic. We all don't find it important because we all think that successful life is all only in terms of monetary sense or monetary aspect, not in terms of other things.
Yeah.
But in India, we have certain kind of society also where they think that these kind of things are really not that important.
Mm.
They are important, but not the only things which
Right.
are important, right?
Bilkul.
Apart from that,
Bilkul.
helping each other or having certain feelings for someone, or that love, care, or certain kind of principle based or value based things which we explain or which we narrate in front of our children, then definitely they learn a lot out of it. For that, we have certain kind of activities taking place in school, like drama competition is there, or dancing competition is there. Through that, through this drama, dancing, elocution, or debate,
Yes.
we channelize their brain.
Yes.
We make them think a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should not be always cut, copy, paste, cut, copy,
Nahi.
paste.
Bilkul.
That system should not be there.
Yes.
They should think on their own. They should be in a position to take their own decision. So they should be
What
self-dependent.
a radical idea.
Yeah, they should be self-dependent. Yeah. So that is how it goes.
Bilkul. And I just want to say that I feel like one of the things that you've done in your school is you put an emphasis on these things. You put an emphasis on the proper education, which they need to fulfill the requirements and do the exams, but you're also putting an emphasis on these extracurriculars.
Apart from academic thing, yes,
Yes.
we
And-
do focus on extracurricular activities.
And that's, I got to see with my own 2 eyes. I came to your school a few months back and I got to see the elocution.
Yeah, we were lucky to have Jessica
and-
over there. Everybody
I
was
was
so
lucky.
impressed.
I was very lucky, actually. And I'll share photos of that on our social media when I'm talking about this episode. So
Alright.
watch for that. And it was so sweet to see, especially, I don't know, the girls for me, seeing them so confidently stand and share about topics. You did in English, you did Hindi as well, of matlab, like women empowerment and about like seeing these girls who they're talking about generation. Their
True.
mother may not know any English. Her mother may have never had proper education. But now this girl is standing here, a young woman, and she's giving like a long speech about why saving the environment is important. Why, respecting your elders is important.
True.
All of these things which you just shared, the values, the things which are actually important in all of our lives. And I was sitting there trying to hold my tears some of these moments, or trying to hold my like claps of solidarity, because I was so excited to see these young women and the young men too sharing from their heart. And और कुछ लोग इतने भयंकर मतलब इतनी अच्छी मतलब बहुत अच्छा भाषण दिया, बहुत बढ़िया प्रेजेंटेशन दिया था कि like मेरा पूरा दिल जग गया. मतलब मैं तो
I'm happy
very motivated and excited about like some of these things. So what you're doing is making a difference. I see that. So you're a very
Thank
qualified
you so
person.
much. Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
We all are trying to do that.
Yeah.
Taking small steps, but
yes,
that should be there. Yeah. As you mentioned over here, that children, they are speaking so well, they are so confident, and there might be a case that their moms and dads, they are not even aware of what they are seeing.
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing, Jessica, this is the beauty of being Indian. Parents always want their children to grow more or to be more successful than what they are. They always want, okay, fine, we have not got
next
this
generation.
Exactly.
Aage generation mein kya hoga?
Exactly. And they are so worried about it.
Yeah.
Always they think in such a way that, okay, fine, I have not got this, but I'll try to give the best education to my children.
दाल चावल खाएंगे 20 साल तक छोटा सा झोपड़पट्टी में रहेंगे, but
they sacrifice on several things. I mean, unimaginable things, and they'll not even show that on their face that they're doing so much for their children. So that is what as I said, that in education system these kind of values should be nurtured, and that is how such kind of citizens you will come across then.
Yes, wonderfully said.
Yeah, thank you.
So I just want to thank you again. I think that is a great point to finish on, and I just want to thank you again for coming, and just for all that you're doing in this part of the world, in this state, in this community, to make that difference, to like pura matlab itne, and you, one thing we didn't mention, you have more than 3,000 students in your school. This is not like some chota mota kuch chota sa school hai, ye bahut bada school hai, and actually it's one of the best schools in this part of the state and this city as well.
It's an old school, and my mother-in-law has started that school.
Yes, we would not be able to finish this podcast without giving our regards and thanks to her. She's passed away, but
indeed,
she has left a huge legacy in this even state and in this city and this area. So
hats off to her.
Yes, let's remember her and hope that you'll be raising up even more people like her, and as they follow your example as well, because this is what India needs, I really believe, is not only education, paisa kamana, like earning money,
as we discussed,
like we need to continue to care for each other, to think about our communities, and to realize that we can be entrepreneurs. We can do something else besides like doctor banno ya engineer banno. Like there's so many other options. So
basically we need to connect. We need to connect with each other.
Not compete.
Yeah, correct. Not compete and connect with each other. And like overall development should happen while having hands in hands.
Yes. Yeah. So totally agree. Thank you for listening. Again, check us out on our other mediums. This audio version will also be on our other sites, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, JioSaavn, Ghana, wherever podcasts can be found. Please subscribe on this channel to hear more content from us and see more videos. And of course, you can follow our social media. We'll be sharing pictures from Shubhada's school and showing a couple of videos that I was able to take of this beautiful competitions and things.
We'll be happy to do that.
Yes, when we had these, the visit that I was able to make there. So again, thank you for listening, and fir milenge next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.